Okay, so here we have an example where we're graphing a sine function. Y equals f of x equals 1.5 sine 2x. So how do we actually go about graphing? Well, to graph the function, the sine function, let me come down here. I give you some instructions, graphing sine or cosine. The example I gave was cosine, but the same basic ideas apply. So first off, rewrite the equation by distributing the 2 inside. We don't have that issue here. Compare to the general, identify A, B, and C. So let's do that. So let's compare to the general. So we have, write it here, y equals 1.5 sine 2x. So the general form is a sine bx plus c plus d. So I think you can see pretty easily the c is 0 and the d is 0. We really have a, right, we have a, a plus 0 in there and a plus 0 out there, really. So let me get rid of these guys. So our C is 0 and our D is 0. And our A is 1.5 and our B is 2. Okay, so that's the first step. Set it up to the general form, identify A, B, C, and D. We've got that. That's what they did. All right, next, find the midline. D is the middle of the graph, cosine or sine. So D is the middle. So you see, you take whatever's off to the right here, and that becomes your middle line. So ours is 0. So our middle line is the middle line. It's just right through there. Nothing fancy going on. The middle. So that's the mid. That's the middle of the graph. And then, after identifying the middle, from the middle, at -3, the graph rises A and down A. So whatever A is, that's the amplitude. That's how much it rises and goes down from the middle. So from that middle line, the A is 1.5. So our graph is going to go up to here and down to there, right? It's going to go up 1.5 and down 1.5. That's what the amplitude does. Okay, what's next? From the middle, we did that. Okay, so the top of the graph will be at plus 2. Yeah, we found the top and the bottom. Now we go to the period, 2 pi over b. So the period, how do we figure out the period? Oh, it's 2 pi over b. So let's write that. The period, where are we at? Right here. So the period is 2 pi, I'm a little scribbly on that b there, 2 pi over b. And what's our b? It's 2 pi over 2. So our period is pi. Well, what does the period mean? The period, we can skip the horizontal shift right now. Well, here, let's go back. Something I think we left out. So our graph is a sine graph. Remember, sine starts in the middle and goes high and then low, whereas cosine starts at the top or bottom. So ours is a sine graph, so it's going to start in the middle, so that's going to be 0 right here, and it's going to go up to its top. In fact, why don't I just put that down here? This is going to be the, nope, not that. Yeah, that. There, 1.5, that's going to be the top. And minus 1.5, this is going to be the bottom of our sine graph. Yeah, next it gets into horizontal shift, which is -c over b. So what is our, kind of running out of room here, horizontal shift, -c over b. And what's our c? Our c is 0. So that's negative 0 over b. What's b? B is 2. And so that's just 0. So horizontal shift, so there's no shift. There's a 0 shift to our graph. So our graph is just going to start right here in the center. That's how I knew that. There's no shift on it. All right, let's get back to it. So our horizontal shift is 0. And we know how high and low, and we know the period. That's right, we know the period. So we basically know everything we need now. We know this graph is going to finish here at pi. Now I'm having trouble telling where pi is. Well, this is, I see pi would be this very next one right there. Why? Because you see how it's going 1/8, 2/8, that's 1/4, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, which is 3/4, 7/8, and this is 8/8 pi or 1 pi. So there it is. So so halfway between is half a pi. So what is our sine graph going to do? It's going to go high and then low down to here and then back up. Do you see how it's period from there to there, one cycle? The period equals the width, which is pi. The width of that one cycle is pi for our graph. So there it is. So when you use the tools to graph this, one of the tools, so let me show you what the tools, I mean, I know you're seeing, whoop, that wasn't so well done, was it? Let's try again. So middle, there goes middle, high, low, high, and finishes, goes high one, like that. And the other one does the same kind of thing. And it shows different points. One of them shows the point here and here. The other one shows the point middle in here. So this one's easier for sine. This one's easier for cosine. Why? Because it's got its top and bottom points, which is how cosine starts and ends. And this one's easier for sine. But you could do them with either one. Either tool can produce either graph. But it'll be easier. This one, you put his dot in the center, which would be right here. This is his center. And then you just make sure this first dot, that one right there, is at the top point. You click there so that this is hitting over at pi. Let's make sure that's it, because 8/8, that's 1 pi. That's pi there. And how do we know that's pi? Because that was the period. The period was pi, so it should finish that cycle at pi. So as you're using the tool, make sure the graph is finishing right there at pi. So there we go.